How many altos does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
None. They can't get up that high.
What if they're really low light bulbs, like, one's over the sink or maybe a lamp?
Low light? You mean like 15 watts? Oh, God, now you've got me doing it.
No, I mean,
No, Brian. It's a pun based on the scale of the voices.
Voices don't have scales, Mark. That's fish.
Okay, cue the intro music. Oh, okay, that's coming along. All right, I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been working with the vocal coach, strengthening the.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, you're going into your line of work. Yeah, you can't ignore the laugh. The sinister laugh is key.
Right. I've been working on my weight elements. Stop time. Tell your friends.
Your weight element, like how Flo has a weight element.
Yep, but my weight element will stop the world and find the time to find the words.
Okay, this is beginning to sound awfully familiar.
I just need some Wonderflonium for my weight element, and it's being transported tomorrow.
Yeah, very familiar. We should stop this right now before the plagiarism police show up. Podcast, Brian. We're gonna get busted.
Podcast day.
Oh, God.
We're the pros.
Oh, no.
Audio recording. Gotta say, love the flow. It's just so rewarding. With my weight node, I will stop the world.
If only I could stop right now.
With my weight node, I will find the time to find the words to tell you how to make a flow.
A flow?
Do all the things.
The things?
Update fields. Create records. Fault line. Always
fault.
With my weight node, I will pause the flow.
I wish I could pause right now.
It's not a trigger or an Apex class, that's all Apex code. I just think you need time to know that I'm the guy that won't fake the workflow you don't dare to make. I'll bend Salesforce to our will.
What?
And we'll make times. Oh yeah, it's terrible. I didn't actually rehearse that part. I just wrote that last bit, so
I need a black tab right now.
Surprise.
Podcast, Brian.
Yeah, okay. Now it's time in the show where we like to thank our sponsors.
Even though we're not actually getting any money, since these are fake companies from developer orgs, so they aren't really sponsors.
Don't ruin the sponsor spot.
Go on. Just go on.
Today's episode is brought to you by Pyramid Construction Incorporation, your go-to source to access the wonderful secrets of pyramid power. Keep your razor blades sharp, your produce fresh, and induce those special tingly feelings in the loved ones with Pyramid Constructions Incorporated signature pyramids. Now available in desktop sizes. Pyramid Construction, where we keep an eye on your customers.
You have way too much time on your hands, or possibly a membership in the Illuminati. I can't tell.
Well, we have some special guests today, Mark.
You're not about to say, have you met, and then their names again, are you?
No. What kind of unprofessional, non-funny method of introduction for guests is that?
That's a very good question, Brian, and I'm looking right at you if you can't tell.
I'm not quite sure what that means. But anyways, our guests this episode are Apex and the Limits. Well, most of them. Some of them.
Well, hang on. Aren't I in that group?
Yes. So shush and get in the interviewee chair.
We have a chair? Wait. If I'm quiet, how are you supposed to interview me?
Just roll the interview.
Party rock is in the house tonight.
Mark, we're going to make you sing.
You already have. I was about to say, just so you know, we are currently recording.
Oh, I need to get him to sing more. I did harmonies. No, very good harmonies. Thank you.
Is there anything that you hear over and over again that you want to address? Stuff like that.
I'm going to defer to you, Rachel. Oh, fearless leader.
You always do. That's awesome.
That's because you're Apex. I'm just a limit.
You sure it's not because of all the guns?
It could be the gun.
I'm packing. No, I think the biggest thing is just I think it's a fun channel to talk to people, right? I mean, we get like a lot of really random questions sent our way. I mean, really random.
Oh, I saw the warm-up answers people have been giving.
Yeah, the warm-up answers. And then like we have people who like to get a little too personal, maybe. And want to know.
I'm entirely surprised.
Is there an Apex and the Limits dating site?
Maybe. I mean, like we thought about it. And then we thought maybe we could be like Ashley Madison's site, I mean, just throwing that out there.
I was going to say, I don't know what your significant other's status is, Rachel, but I know the other three. So.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely married.
Okay.
And I have a kiddo. I have an almost 5-year-old. So, yeah, no.
Well, that doesn't stop some people.
So Apex.
The other people.
Apex and the Limits, Madison.
There you go. Apex and the Unlimited. How about that?
Oh, see, the
Apex and the Poly.
Always going.
Apex and the Poly.
Apex without limits.
Apex on loops.
Apex in the safe words.
Pineapple.
I
I was a little sad. I didn't get to join, but it makes sense because I don't have any of my instruments to practice and everything. Because the conversation you and I were having earlier, Rachel, before Dreamforce last year makes perfect sense now. And I'm like, I really wish I had that keyboard. But part of me kind of wants to create a counter group called Queries Within Loops, where we just publish one song that hits a limit after so many characters and just stops.
I mean, we could totally work that in.
Oh my god.
We could totally work that
Queries
in.
Within
And just because I think the fun thing about the band, right, is really like, all of the community participation. It's not about us. I mean, we're mediocre singers at best, right? And I mean, that's like some high props right there.
I thought you were using autotunes.
No, there's no auto-tune. There actually is auto-tune settings in the software. Yeah. We could theoretically be using it. No,
well,
I
then
like
that
the
means
pure.
someone knows. That means someone else needs to know how to run that stuff. Because all I know how to do is hit record.
Let's get down to the heart of the matter, because I heard there's some contention between the members of the band. A Yo-Yo Okinawa or whatever, I can't remember. Who is the Beatles person? This is turning into a terrible joke. Yoko Ono. I came close. Yo-Yo Okinawa.
I thought you were going to say Yo-Yo Ma.
If it weren't you, Brian, that would have been like a terrible, terrible thing to say.
Yes, it is a terrible, terrible thing to say, except for the fact that I knew what I was trying to say. It just couldn't come out that way. So who actually are members of Apex and Limit?
Well,
Daryl Shaber.
Well, Daryl's in everything.
We've got, of course, your cohort here, Mark, and
What?
then
I'm in the what? I'm in a band.
You're a
I think
limit.
I think I would know if I was in the band.
you were at the MVP party and you contributed lyrics to our last one, and then we have Nana, Greg, and then we have Pete Chalmers. If we ever get to do a live show again, he right now is our drummer. Logistics are tough, but Pete's, for all intent and purposes, is a limit. And then you got myself, and then Rachel is Apex. That's what we tell everybody, because then we can just pass the buck to her.
So is it Apex is in Code or Apex is in Predator?
Code.
Which makes you happier?
Oh, this could be a very dangerous interview for me.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of those emails you have been getting.
Yeah, about some of the Twitters.
Yeah,
I'm
super
most
curious
off the
now.
wall. I want to know.
Yeah, what's the craziest question we've gotten?
I mean, most off the wall was when people found out that we were going to Southeast Streaming and were really concerned with what people would be wearing.
To Southeast
Why?
Streaming?
And I don't know. I felt a little bit might be like because we want to take a picture with you. So I don't know. It was just odd. It was like, what are you going to wear? I'm
as
like,
in they're
well,
worried about the
clothes.
heat because it was in the southeast?
I think they wanted to color coordinate.
Could be.
I did not know we got that question.
Anyone else get asked what are they wearing? Did they proceed with the first question? What's your age, sex, and language?
No, they didn't.
Or is that
It's
location? That's supposed to be location.
Yeah,
See that?
ASL, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ASL.
Come on, Brian. Deal with it.
I'm an innocent, naive person.
Uh-huh.
You must have never been on AOL growing up.
No, I was on not
He was a
AOL.
MySpacer.
Prodigy. I was a Prodigy lad.
All right.
I just played around on the local bulletin boards.
I had that too.
Dial-in bulletin boards.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I ran one.
No! You win.
Okay.
Are we cutting this?
I just went with the cork bulletin board at school. Just put a flyer on that.
Really? What software did that app run on?
You know, it was good old human intervention.
Human intervention.
What version of that?
Is that an
Like,
Apple
manual.
product?
Like the
It was
earlier
manual
versions of that?
later, 1.0.
1.0?
It was full of bugs.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of bugs
Yeah.
with that. There's all sorts
Yeah.
of human errors that happen with that. It's nasty.
I
Can't
don't know if
rely
you've
on
heard
them.
of. I don't know if you've heard of Darwin theory, but there was a little bit of that going on.
Okay. So bringing it back.
On the cork bulletin board? Were there spikes on the cork bulletin board? Ow! Okay, well, you lose.
So how did Apex and the Limits get started?
Peter's fault.
Peter's fault. So blame the guy who's not here.
Always.
Do you want to take that, Rachel? Or do you want me to take that?
I can take it.
Take it.
So I think it kind
It's
of.
just too late for this. Are we doing a Fred?
What? Who's Fred?
Now we know which one of us has not been listening to the podcast.
So, no, for Apex and the Limits, it started, Peter had always wanted to do kind of a jam session at Dreamforce. And so he had been pushing and pushing and pushing and finally got permission from Holly and Erica to put together a band. And so we got together at Dreamforce and it was kind of like a one and done thing. We did some covers and that was cool. And then we came back home and it was like, you know, something was missing. It was really fun to do. We had been talking for months and now what? And so we came up with this idea of, hey, we could actually probably do this and produce videos. And so we tried with the first one of Son of a Bitch, Why Admins Drink. And it was a lot of fun. And then we kind of just got this following and now people get really upset if we don't produce monthly videos. We actually got called out on Twitter the other day of like, why have you not produced a video? It's almost been 4 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I have a real job. So yeah, but it's fun and it's like crazy. It's kind of self-promotes itself now. People get so involved and like the number of people who contact us and are like, please put me in a video. Like we have a waiting list of people who want to be in videos. It's crazy.
Nice.
Is that why Sean Miguel is in the latest one?
No, actually, we reached out to him because he had said, look, if you ever come across content that you think I'd be a good fit for. And there was just something about this one where I was like, I think he's going to be a good fit. And sure enough, like the ending he pulled off for I Can't Get Enough Trailhead Action, like was just perfect.
Nailed it.
Have you listened to that song yet, Brian? The latest one?
The one that just came out a few days ago?
Yeah.
Right.
No, because I'm working. It's cute. It's cute. It was potential for video episode of the undetermined amount of time into the next one, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Apparently this is the shaming episode of WizardCast.
For shame.
Hey, at least I'm been listening, and at least it's cute.
All right.
So, how do the name Apex and the Limits come together?
Mine. I'll take this one.
As in the credit, or are you going to answer the question?
It's both. We actually had a spreadsheet in Google Docs, and we were just throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall, and that was one of the noodles. And had a couple people involved in kind of looking at them and reviewing them, and Apex and the Limits was the one that got the thumbs up. So that's all it. I mean, I wish there was a more interesting story to that, but really it was just flung spaghetti on the wall.
So you didn't purposely pick something that was non-declarative?
No, it just thought it sounded cool, Brian.
I suppose process builder in the flows doesn't quite sound right.
It doesn't quite flow, ironically.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just sounded neat. So the funny thing is we always get the question. I've alluded to it earlier, but we always get the question. Well, who's Apex and who's the limits? And so I always just tell everybody, Rachel is Apex, and we're all just limits. So I think the actual thought behind that, though, is we are all limits, and Apex is just, it is what it is.
Are you a particular limit, Ryan?
I don't know.
Are you like maybe the number of Sockwell characters in a query?
I'll take that one, sure.
It depends on what voice he's using.
He has more than one voice?
He does. He does.
I do indeed.
Okay, demo. Tell us about each voice and give us a sample.
Oh, God. Pick one, Rachel. You brought it up.
I'm going with the duck.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's a good Donald.
Yeah. That's really the only one I don't use a different voice when I'm singing. Like, you don't want to hear me sing falsetto. I'll just put that out there right now.
Is that your shower voice?
Believe it or not, I don't sing in the shower often.
So you don't shower often?
No, I don't sing in the shower often.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay. So that's one voice.
That's not me, I promise.
What's the other voices?
I don't know. What do you want to hear? I mean, I did the...
I can't tell you what I want to hear because I don't know them.
B-52s.
I would love to do the B-52s for you right now, but I have to do that loud and my kids are asleep. So in order for me to do that, I will refer you to the tweet. Look in my Twitter feed. It's back there somewhere. I have one. And I do the whole... I bought me a Chrysler and it seats about 20, so hurry up and bring your jukebox money. I did that. There's proof on the internet. It's there.
Okay, so B-52s.
Hop in my Chrysler. It's as big as a whale and it's about to set sail.
Exactly, yes.
All right, so that's two voices. You got any more? Was Rachel just really building you up and saying you have tons of voices and you really only have two? And you only do one of them if you're able to be loud?
Hey,
supposedly.
he has 3. He's using the one he's got right now. Doesn't that count?
That's true. That counts for something. I do have them, but it's very ad hoc and spur of the moment sort of thing.
So how about this? The rest of the WizardCast, we challenge Ryan to incorporate as many voices as possible.
There you go.
All right. So,
okay, wait. Does it have to be a specific, like, famous person voice, or could it be perhaps maybe an accent of some sort?
Talk to the Apex. She's the one setting the limit upon you.
The limits.
I see what you did there again.
It's totally surprised me, Ryan.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Okay. So this question is for all three of you. But go in turn. Rachel goes first. Of all the songs that you guys done so far, what's your favorite?
I think my favorite is Serviceman, just because of how easy that was to write, because I was coming off of doing a Service Cloud implementation, and we did it in 9 months for 800 users and 250,000 customers. So it just kind of, the lyrics came out really easy, and plus I got to put my little girl in the music video, so that was also fun.
That's cool.
Ryan?
I think I like our first one. I like Son of a Bitch, Why Admins Drink, because we get to swear, and everybody seems to actually enjoy that one. And it's what started the whole thing.
It's responsible.
It's responsible for this mess. Is Mark going to answer that one?
Well, I was figuring he didn't need to be prompted since he was the only one left out of the three.
Nope,
it was
sorry,
just a really awkward silence.
It was. That's what happens. Honestly... The one I sang on, I can't remember the name of the song. And not because I sang on it, but because I did not know the song.
Sweet Lightning Component.
Yeah, Sweet Lightning Component. Like, I'd heard it like once before, like ages ago.
What? You didn't know the song?
Not really. No. So I had to learn it. And I was like, this is an awesome song. And I put it on Google Play and I was jamming to it for days. So just because of that song, I learned a new favorite jam.
He's even learning new things, man.
Exactly.
We bring nothing but good to the community.
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
I'm more of a cat person, but thanks.
Okay.
This is
Brian
tough.
really looks like he's struggling.
All right. This is what's tough, okay? Because usually when I'm doing an interview, I'm doing it in tandem with Mark, right?
Yeah.
And this is the weird thing because Mark is technically both the co-host and an interviewee at the same time.
You think it's weird for you? I have no idea what to say.
But we never have any
yourself a
idea what to
question?
say beforehand.
Can I ask
Maybe
you
Mark
something?
needs to ask himself a question.
I don't think
That
I
would be
have that.
funny, actually.
I don't think I have that level of hubris. I don't know if I could do that.
So I asked myself, self?
So, how long do you think you guys are going to be doing this?
As long as we possibly can.
Until someone tells us to stop, probably.
Till we get sued.
Yeah.
No, not even then. We'll just
Yeah.
get a sponsor to cover that.
Yeah.
No, I think the thing is we'll do it as long as people respond to it, right? And when people get tired of it and they stop responding, that's when we'll stop doing it. I mean, oddly enough, we have people requesting the ability to buy a CD. So I think we got a long way to go because we don't even have like enough tracks for a CD yet.
A single?
plus-
You could do it on iTunes.
There you
the legality of doing CDs for this kind of thing is really. I have looked into this actually.
Oh,
Well,
there
the
you go.
parodies, aren't they?
Because I was, yes, but you still have to go through, you still have to
Proper
go
channels.
you still have to go through BMI or ASCAP. You still have to go through them, and you still have to pay.
Yes.
You don't just you can theoretically try to get away with it under fair use, but only if you're not making money on it.
Mhm.
Or if you can pass it off as like a student project, and no,
Right.
it doesn't really work that way.
I mean,
So-
one of the thoughts that we had was we could produce CDs, right? And we could sell them leading up to Dreamforce, and then all the proceeds go to Benioff Children's Hospital. So, there's technically no money being made off of it, and so it still falls in that kind of leeway of items, maybe, possibly. But I mean, the reality is, Brian, at some point, like we're going to just be so famous and infamous that Salesforce is just going to like buy the band and we're going to retire. That's
right.
what's going to happen.
So, have you trademarked the band name then?
Have we trademarked it? I don't know if we've done. We've got all the logos. We've got a lot of legal things in process with it. So I don't know
I
if
don't
that's
think we
actually
can.
done yet or
Yeah,
not.
I don't think we can technically put the little TM next to it or anything yet, and I would question actually the legality of that with the term Apex being in there. But
Apex is not a branded term, and it's a general word, so you can absolutely trademark that.
And if we were, a code system, then yes, we could get in trouble for that. But
I see,
people are not
yeah,
going to get
that's a good point.
the band confused, so it's
Yeah.
not really competing. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
We do own all the website URLs and obviously the Twitters and the YouTubes and all that. And we own the logos. We own the YouTubes. Don't even worry about it.
She's had 2 glasses of wine.
the interwebs.
Hey, Malbec is good for the soul. So yeah, no, I think the only thing it's underway. How about that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
The other thing too is technically they're actually technically not parodies. They are considered derivative works as far as musical lawyers are concerned. And yes, Mark is indeed correct. Is we have to, if we want to distribute it in any way, you have to buy specific licenses for the songs that you are creating derivative works of. Because I've looked into that for personal projects too, and so it's not very cost prohibitive. It's actually quite reasonable. But
it means that by the time you've printed your CDs, paid for those, and then paid for each individual song on the CD, which you have to do, that your profits are quite skim by the end of it.
Yeah, I think the only logical way to go forward with something like that would be through a Kickstarter or maybe a Patreon or a GoFundMe or something like that to get started. But that's all stuff we've thought about. So. And it's fun to think about.
You realize you've just started the fire, right? By even mentioning those things, you're going to have people like banging on your door, demanding.
Always
I
burning.
mean, like just think about the crazy fact of we got sponsored to go to Southeast Dreamin'.
Well, I didn't know that. That was
True.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, people paid for our airfare and our hotels.
I wish I
and
could have gone. I wish I
yeah,
could.
it was pretty crazy. But I mean, to do something that we thought we'd be doing in our PJs, and to have to actually stand up on stage and do it, it was very surreal.
All right, so getting back to the question of what you were going to be wearing at Southeast Streaming, were you in your PJs? Because maybe that's
No,
where the
but
concern was.
I love that idea, though. I think next time we should just perform in PJs.
Please don't give Ryan any more
It's like-
ideas.
Doesn't
Ryan,
Admins in PJs sound like a song title to you?
Kind of.
It sounds like a bad movie.
Ryan, we are not Devo. Okay.
You mean I don't get to wear a clay planter on my head?
No, sorry. Not yet, anyway. We got to be bigger.
Before
Okay.
you become eccentric?
Then you can get, yeah, exactly. Then you're eccentric. Exactly. So
I
have a
actually
question.
tried to write that in a lyric earlier today that Ryan was eccentric, and he wouldn't let me.
Because it didn't rhyme.
He's got this craziness about rhyming in songs.
I do. I admittedly do have a little tendency to make sure things rhyme in the proper pattern that they do in the original song that we're copying.
I
Rachel's
don't know
working on
why
that.
you would say Ryan is eccentric to begin with. He doesn't even have an E in his name.
He does in his last name.
I do.
And it's at the beginning, so it's not even eccentric.
Well, half the time she calls me Heedley anyway, so.
Just because it drives him crazy.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
Headley.
So,
It sounded like Mark had a question.
yeah, Mark, did you have a question for Heedley?
Yeah. So how are we going to be able to practice before Dreamforce? Because that's going to be crazy. I'm assuming we'll be doing something again. I don't know.
Well, we actually have a show before that, Mark. We can't announce
We
it
do.
just yet, but it's in
Yes.
July.
And you'll be
Oh,
there.
that's right.
If
And I will
anyone
be there.
knows what's in July,
So that will be our
we'll be on
practice.
stage.
That will be our
Ooh.
practice.
Ooh, I'll make sure I'll bring my Rotten Tomatoes.
But
Don't worry,
I
Ryan will be in his PJs.
yes, I will be in my PJs. I suppose I should go buy some now.
Okay, that just led to a whole line of mental arithmetic that I
And
wish I had not done.
Rachel was wondering why she keeps getting those awkward tweets. That's why, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Ryan does that on purpose.
What you don't know is Ryan's been creating a whole bunch of other Twitter accounts and sending you tweets.
Well, wouldn't surprise me.
I've done worse. Okay, next question. Or we really didn't answer that though, did we? How are we?
No.
Well,
doing?
how did you practice
That's the thing.
practice
Yeah,
beforehand?
That
I
is
mean,
a general question. Yeah, how do you
because that was the one thing I was trying to figure out, Rachel. It was like when you asked about the whole keyboard thing. It was like, yeah, sure, I could probably learn it and play it here, but that's not the same as playing within a group.
Yeah, so what we do is we use Soundtrap, right? And in Soundtrap, you can go in and record yourself. That's actually how we put all the songs together. And that's the only method of quote unquote practice. And then normally before like a show, we'll get an hour or two to warm up together. And that's it.
That's it.
And
yeah.
and whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked for Dreamforce last year when we played the MVP party. Is we had maybe 20-25 minutes once we got to the boat to warm up before people started coming in. So yeah, it was really Soundtrap to hear everybody, to hear our lyrics and chord changes, etc., stops, and then a quick run through, and then you just have to jump on and hope it all goes well. The trickier part is that's easier with a live band because they can cover for you with karaoke tracks, as we did at Southeast Dreamin'. That's not quite as easy because they're much less forgiving. So luckily, went off without a hitch.
All right. So, Rachel, you've mentioned that you have a waiting list for people who want to be in your videos. I've seen on your Periscopes that you're writing lyrics, and Mark has written some lyrics. I'm sure Ryan has written some lyrics. So how are you keeping everything organized? Are you having spreadsheets upon spreadsheets?
So we have a Google site where all good dreams go to die. And that's actually what the front of the song lyrics page says. It's like, here's where everything comes to die. And so we actually have, I don't know, like 20 songs right now that are in progress of just things that either people have sent us or we think that might be cool one day. And so we keep all the songs in there. And then we do have a separate sheet for band production. So there's the timing between when something's written to when the vocals get produced to who we're going to target to be in the video and how long they have to do submissions to then actually producing the video. It takes us 28 to 30 days to actually produce a new video. And we do it all via Google Drive is basically how we drop off the different pieces that we have to contribute to one another.
It's chaos, really.
Well, I have something to add to your Old Dreams Go to Die file.
Uh-oh.
And this is based off of a really bad practical joke that I did on Andy Betcher when I shared his story with Shelley Erkson. I think it's right for planning a parody about a project that basically fails or ends based on the Gilligan theme song.
Just right back in here, little buddy. Okay, Gilligan.
If there's a joke there, Brian, I'm not getting it.
It's not a joke.
He literally means let's parody the Gilligan's theme song.
Okay.
Yes, because you have at the very end it talks about the captain and the skipper and all the various people in it. And those could be the equivalent of who's typically on a regular Salesforce project. And how often have we done something that says, oh yeah, it's only going to take us 3 hours. And if it wasn't for the brave work of an admin, that the project would be lost.
I smell what you're cooking.
It is an interesting idea.
I can tell you it is not May's video. May's video has been selected. And we're going, we will give you a hint. Pat Benatar.
Who?
Pat Benatar is.
Oh, don't make me feel old, please.
Who we're targeting.
Please, Brian. No, I get it. Brian.
I don't know who Pat. I'm assuming it's a musician, but I do not know Pat Benatar.
All right.
Well, what's the song? Give me a really popular song that I should really know.
No. You just Google Pat Benatar, and we'll see what you come up with.
I promise you, it's a safe Google. She's wholesome.
All right, so I'll have to Google Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar.
B-E-N?
B-E-N-E-T-A-R.
Okay.
I can't believe he doesn't know who Pat Benatar is.
So here's the thing. I probably do based on the music. I just don't do artist names and actors and actresses very well. Okay? I'll put it this way. I knew a song, and it was years before I found out that the artist was Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's just me, because I listen to music, and I don't go and see, okay, who's the... Heck, most of the time I don't even know what the song title is.
You've probably heard her then.
I did have an interesting experience the other day. I listened to Frank Zappa for the first time.
Frank Zappa's awesome.
That was an experience.
Yeah,
we should do a Frank Zappa song. Well, that's the problem, is that I started listening to it the first time, and I was like, I have not heard any of these songs ever. And that's unusual, because usually if something is well known, I've at least heard like one song. Like when what's-his-name was performing it at Dreamforce a couple years ago, Bruno Mars. I was like, I don't know any Bruno Mars songs. And then I'd look him up and I'd listen, okay, yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Other than that, like hearing a couple songs on the radio, I didn't know jack about Bruno Mars. But that's usually the case. I usually know at least one song by anybody who's really renowned like that. I didn't know any of those songs. I don't think they're radio worthy. So I don't know if they'd be good to actually perform, because there's a really good chance a lot of people wouldn't know the original.
I'm a little worried, Mark. You keep waving that lightsaber around. I'm concerned you're going to accidentally turn it on and cut something.
That is always a risk.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Where were we? It was the next song.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's the next song, which is going to come up in May. You already released the song for April?
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Okay.
Brian. That's that one you didn't watch.
Well,
yet.
if it was
It's the one that
yesterday,
you
no
had
wonder
to-
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Slacker.
So, I guess the only other question it has is, you guys going to sing something for us?
I don't think I can swing that tonight.
And that's when you say, "Sure, Brian," and then Mark cuts into with the audio that was recorded some other other time of you guys singing.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. A different song. Yeah, we'll cue that in.
Do I look like Stephen Colbert in the Late Show? I mean, come on. He's got nicer suits. I'm not even wearing a suit.
You're a real tough user with a long history of pushing every button that you can see. That's okay, let's see how you do it. Put up your dukes, let's get down to it. Hit me with your best case. Why don't you hit me with your best case?
So that was a great song, Ryan.
Oh,
that was
thank you.
fantastic.
We always try our best.
Thanks for sharing. It makes me almost wish I was able to hear it live.
It's amazing that we didn't practice that at all either. It was just completely off the cuff.
Yeah, it was not post-edited at all.
No.
All right. So you have an open pulpit. And we'll start with Ryan. Ryan, what is one thing you want all your fans and potential fans to know?
Stop doing shit in production. Does that count?
That counts.
I think that counts. Yes.
Rachel?
That counts.
Well, I mean, how do you follow that, really?
It was kind of a mic drop.
It was very much a mic drop. I'm totally screwed right now.
We'll just switch it, and then she can answer first, and then I'll finish.
Yeah, so I'll look like
Post-
an idiot normally. Great,
post-editing.
Ryan. No, I think the biggest thing is just that you guys are why we do this. So talk to us. Let us know what you want. Ask us the weird questions about what we're gonna wear.
Not that well.
Don't
Not that
expect
weird.
don't expect a response. But no, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. And just keep them coming because we have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, we've got several quote unquote months worth of material, and I think it'll be fun to see where it goes from here.
And Mark, you don't get to answer because you have a every other week pulpit.
I have the mic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The mic is where I live.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
WizardCast is produced by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, directed by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, technical administration by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, script writing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, audio editing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, website maintenance by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, doo-wop, she-wop by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, and our term this episode was Apex in the Limits.
Send us your interview suggestions, jokes, videos, tips, and feedback to WizardCast at thewizardnews.com, or head over to thewizardnews.com and click Contact WizardCast.
Don't forget to subscribe to the WizardCast and receive our next episode automagically. Once again, I'm Brian.
And I'm the Hammer.
Thanks for listening. I'm the Hammer?
We have our custom bleep sound specifically for the show. We have a recording of Steve Moe saying "Safe Harbor," and that is our bleep.
I haven't heard you guys use that yet. When did you start using that?
With Steve Moe?
With his episode, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, that one's queued up, Brian. I haven't heard the Steve.
Yes.
I'm sorry. When they made lions and tigers sexy, that just was disturbing for a long period of my life.
When did they make them sexy?
Lion King. That was the whole turn. They made it look. Yes.
I don't think they did, Brian. I think that was in your head. I don't think they did.
I have to go.
All right,
with
and
Mark
I'm
on this
gonna
one.
call it.
You go back. You go back and watch it. They sexualized the characters in that.
Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa. Oh!
The keyboard typing would actually be picked up by the microphone.
Exactly.
Yes.
That'd be bad. Much like Ryan's.
Oops. God.
What just happened?
I hit some random key on my keyboard that hung up.
No, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck was that?